Happy Friday the 13th. I'm the Liminal Witch, and today is Friday the 13th in February. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day, but today is the day of some blessed goddesses. So honor Mother Mokosh, Mother of all mothers, the Slavic Earth Mother, and Hecate at the crossroads. Friday the 13th is sacred to her. It is one of her days, as it is sacred to Mokosh. It is one of her days. All Fridays are Mokosh's days, but Friday the 13th is especially sacred to her because, you know, pre-Christianization, Friday the 13th was not a bad thing. But anyway, that's not what today is about. Today is Folklore Friday. So, yay. Are you ready? So, previously, the last time I did Folklore Friday, I talked about doing ATU 550, which is the Firebird. And that is, or the Golden Bird. Now, that is a story about basically one of the versions, or the main version, whatever. It depends on what folklore you read, I guess, if it's your main version or not. Because the Firebird is the Slavic version. The Golden Bird is further in the west of Europe. But kings' golden apples go missing. Gardener's sons are sent to discover what it is. Turns out it's a golden bird. So the king's like, they get one of the feathers from the golden bird, and the king's like, oh shit, those birds like way more valuable than my golden apples. But also golden apples are in Norse mythology, so look into that. Anyway, the three individual gardener's sons are sent separately. Oldest, middle, youngest. The oldest and the middle do not follow the helper, the magical animal helper, a fox, his advice, and so they wind up completely just giving up their mission to find the golden bird. The youngest son, however, he follows the fox's advice at first. He goes where the fox tells him to go at first. Then he fails to follow the fox's advice and winds up with the golden bird captured by another king who says, if you want this back, you gotta go get for me this golden horse. So he goes to get the golden horse, and again, he does not fully follow the fox's advice and forfeits the golden horse, who says to a different kingdom, whose king says, well, go to this other kingdom and get this princess who's maybe been kidnapped. I'm not sure. Get this princess, okay? So he goes, he gets the princess. He finally, actually follows the fox's advice and does what he's told. He gets the princess, and now he's, headed back, and then the fox is like, wait, do not do these two things. So, of course, he does the two things, which are rescue his brothers from the gallows and tell them the things that he's done. Because then, or I'm sorry, not tell them the things he's done. They discover it once they're released from the gallows, but sit by a river. So, of course, he frees his brothers. They know he's got all these riches. He sits by a river. They push him in the river. They leave him for dead. They take all his stuff and go home to their father. And they're like, hey, look, we brought all these riches home to you. The fox saves him, of course, because magical animal helper. He comes back. All of the things that he saved, the golden bird, the golden horse, and the princess, are very sad that he has been gone this whole time. When he returns, they're happy, and it is revealed the brothers' wickedness, so they are punished for their wickedness, and the youngest brother gets to marry the princess, and the fox requests to be beheaded by the oldest brother. I guess that's the oldest brother's punishment. He's got to behead the fox, who turns back into a man because apparently he had been cursed by a witch and turned into a fox so that he wouldn't be able to save his sister, which is, he uses the boy to save his sister. Anyway, so that's the Firebird or Golden Bird story, ATU 500, and it specifically has a bird, a horse, and a princess, which it's very interesting that several folktale types involve specific things like that, and in this one it is always a bird, a horse, and a princess. And it is predominantly said to be found in Eastern Europe or Asia and Europe, but it's also found like all over the world, like this fairy tale type, folklore type, because it is, which means, so I can't remember if we've discussed this on Folklore Friday, but the wider spread a folklore type is throughout the world, the older the tale is, because that tale existed when like ancienter people were around. That's why when they split off and went into different directions through evolution and everything, like they took that story with them all over the place, right? Where like some stories aren't everywhere in the world and they're not as old. So like the stories that can be found everywhere for like a long time, not like current era, everything's connected. And you know, in the past, everything's connected too. Sorry, I kicked my little tripod-y pod. But everything was connected, but they didn't have the access that we have now, right? So like everything was connected spiritually and energetically, but not like we have communication aspects now where you can find said stories in all countries. Like that's not what I mean by that statement. It's when you can find olden times the same story throughout countries. That means it is a very old story that came from humanity a very, very long time ago. So that tells you that horses, foxes, and birds, very important to humans. Although, were they always horses and foxes? Well, the fox isn't part of the ATU 550. The horse and the bird are part of ATU 550, and it would make sense that they are that important to humanity. So anyway, that was your Folklore Friday. I hope you have a great Friday. If you're in the 4 states area and looking for something to do tomorrow, I am going to be at the Sweetheart Market at Mandalorian Dreams in Joplin, Missouri. So we're going to have a lot of Valentine's fun and shopping to be done. So see you there, maybe, if you want. Bye.